There you go. Alan here from $50 Film School, guys. Nice to touch base with you again. So today, a couple of lessons, what I learned from the driver before I even got to the set of a show I was working on as an actor. I learned so much from the driver along the way, and I wanted to tell you what that was. So here's the story that he told me. So we got a 4 o'clock pickup, 4 o'clock in the morning pickup to be on set, to be at unit base for about 6:30 in the morning. It was going to be a long day's filming on an absolutely fantastic world-class show, and I had a line or two in this thing, so it was a big day for me. Very, very much looking forward to the whole thing. But one of the things that I took away from the whole experience was the conversation that I had with the driver on the way up, and what impressed me was what I learnt from him about basic life skills and about the kind of tenacity that we need for the industry of filmmaking and media in general, but in terms of broader life skills as well, very applicable. Just from the basic story of how he got involved in the business himself. So when he was a young dude, like he and his brother, very much interested, passionately so, in film and filmmaking and animation, anything to do with movies. They were really, really into it. Now, they happened to be fortunate enough to have an aunt and uncle who were a successful playwright and actor respectively, and who kind of passed on that passion and that fun and set a great sort of example, I think, in terms of grown-ups who could be still boogieing around and doing fun stuff, and the kind of dudes that you wanted to be like. When we all have favourite aunts and uncles, and in fact, in a very recent video, I thanked my Uncle Douglas for encouraging me to watch The Man Who Would Be King, so you can check that out. Anyway, we're sitting there, it's pitch dark, we're driving on this long drive to unit base, and I said, look, what was it that got you interested in the business? And he talked about this passion that he had. He said that this uncle one day called him and says, look, are you still interested in working? And he says, yeah, absolutely. He says, well, look, I don't have anything for camera, I don't have anything for directing, I don't have anything, in sound, but would you be interested in driving? And he said, absolutely, yeah. He says, put me down for that. I'd love to work in the business in any shape or form that I can. So he says, look, what I'll do is I'll put you in touch with this guy who's crewing up, for such and such a production, and I'll put you in touch, go and have a meeting with him, he's expecting to hear from you. So he dutifully goes off to meet this guy. The fella says, look, I'm so impressed with you, but you're only 22, you can't drive so and so and so and so unless you have the following type of insurance, and you don't get that until you're 25. Look, come back and see me in a year or a couple of years or whatever. So he does that. When he next comes back to see the fella, he says, look, mate, I'm so sorry, I'm so impressed with you, your connections are great, I would love to employ you. We've just crewed this next film up. Come and see me in 6 months, and I'm sure that we'll have something for you then. There's another show coming to town. He does that. By hook or by crook, this thing doesn't happen also. So a couple of years have now gone by. He's just persevering and going to find this fella and say, look, I'm really good. I'm really keen to work. Just give me a job here. Let's get started. And still nothing's happening. So he told me then that he had heard that Tom Hanks was coming to town to make a movie called City of Embers, which you may have seen. So what he did was he went out and he bought a beautiful car. Like, I think it was a Chrysler, some kind of like beautiful executive saloon. And he bought this car. It was like a £30,000 car. What's that? $45,000, something like that. $50,000 maybe, something in that bracket. And he turned up. He turned up at this fella who ran the driving business, and he came in. And he says, "Look, I'd really like to work with you. I've heard that Tom Cruise has come to town. I heard that this big movie's happening. Now's the time." The fella says, "Well, you've got your license. You're old enough now. Have you got your license? Have you got what kind of car have you got?" So he takes him outside. He shows him the car, and immediately the fella says, "Can you start after lunch?" He says, "The job's yours." Now, as it turned out, I said, "Well, what was it like driving Mr. Hanks?" He says, "Look, Tom Hanks came over. He flew in for a day. He was only there for a day. and then he flew back out again. He was just sort of producing the show, so all he wanted to see was that the show was running properly, it was being managed well, he was happy, and off he went back to America to oversee the production from there. So Tom Hanks was only in the country for one day. But this guy is now one of the head drivers on one of the biggest shows in the world. The point here being, I took a number of lessons from this. Here's a guy who was, on the one hand, enthusiastic about and passionate about the craft. Okay? So he had the energy, he had the passion, he had the love. Secondly, he was up to work at any opportunity he was given, he was willing to take it. So he wasn't available for camera, that's okay. Directing work, that's okay. Driving, yeah, that there's an opening there, let me take it. Just get me a foot in the door. Next, he was absolutely tenacious. You know, many of us, myself included, you know, if we'd gone for the interview the first time and the fella says, look, you know, I'd love to employ you, I can't, you know, come back in 3 years. A lot of us would just kind of go, well, you know, it's not for me, or it's the universe or God is just saying, look, there's something else for you, or, you know, whatever. You just wouldn't have the tenacity to just keep going, to hang in there. But he did that for year after year after year. Then, additionally and crucially, he was alert to what was happening in the business. And that's a really key thing. He found out that there was a major move, that a key player in the global, you know, movie industry was coming to Northern Ireland, and he was prepared to take action. So he found out that Tom Hanks was coming here, and as I said, he took action. That was the key thing. He went out, and here's the point, he committed himself without any assurance, without any bank statement, without any contract, without any assurance from anybody that this would work out for him. He went out and nailed his colours to the mast, and he bought a £30,000 beautiful saloon car so that he could drive Mr. Hanks around the country. That sends a very strong signal, not just to the universe in cosmic terms, saying, hey, I'm stepping up, meet me halfway, but to the guys in the industry who kind of go, this guy's serious, right? And that was a really, really inspiring thing to me, that we all look for, you know, assurances, we look for contracts, we look for promises, we look for kind of like everything to be fine before we're willing to take action. But the real rewards come when we're prepared to step out in faith. Remember, like Indy in the Temple of Doom, you know, the rewards, the chalice, the Holy Grail comes to he who will step out into the abyss. And that's what he did. What happened was, you know, he never got to drive Mr. Hanks. As I said, you know, the guy was only here for a day. But he was in that dedication, that commitment, that single-minded determination and focus, and being so on the ball as to show his potential employer as, I'm your man, I'm the best ambassador for you and your services. That paid off, because the guy who was going to employ him just recognised what he was doing. He recognised the quality, the determination, the strength of character, and he just went, yeah, you're the man for me. That guy, as I say, is now heading up, you know, transport on one of the biggest shows in the world. And I just, before I even arrived on the set, before he'd even had breakfast, got changed into costume, I thought I'd had, you know, a real film school masterclass from the driver alone. Wanted to share that with you. You know, all you guys, probably like me, you know, you have creative aspirations for where you want to go, the gigs you want to do, the people you want to work with. They may be very modest, they may be very ambitious. Keep going, okay? Keep going. Be like that driver. Have your focus. Keep going. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. Just, especially yourself. Especially yourself. And keep moving forward and go out on a limb and commit yourself so that you burn your bridges. Like the guys, when, you know, the Vikings, those dudes, those warriors, when they were landing to take an island, you know, they burnt their boats. So it wasn't like, you know, oh, gee, Olaf, this is getting tough. Look, what do you say we meet back at the boat for sandwiches and we'll just see, you know, how we feel about the whole situation. If they burnt their boats, the only way they were going to get off that island alive was to kill everybody else, was to survive, was to battle through every possible other outcome to make a complete decision that there was no alternative but to stay on that island and to capture it. And that's the kind of tenacity that we need in anything in life, whether it's getting fit, whether it's, you know, being in the film business, being a director, being a writer, being an actor, being a husband, being a wife, whatever it is that you want to do. You know, so I've rambled on plenty. I hope that you found that guy's tenacity as inspiring as I did. Drop by $50 Film School, pick up your free screenwriting module. You know, buy the Film Foundation 101 course. It's $50, for goodness sake. It's everything I learned in film school and 20 years in the business on top of it. Be great to see you, great to hear from you. Be happy, be well. Subscribe, comment, thumb up and share, and look forward to hearing from you soon. God bless. Be happy, be well, be creative. Bye.